Welcome back to the Dream Big Summit, creating a better life for yourself and the planet. Thank you, Aurora Juliana Ariel PhD. And your second segment, you're going to talk us about your visitation into the future, visions you've seen, and the alchemical process, couple of steps that you will give us now so we can take them home. You will also guide us through a process of about 8 minutes towards the end of this half-hour, 40-minute talk, and then we will be ending it on that note of celestial opening. So stay tuned to that, and then also you will tell us about your amazing discounted gift of sessions with you, including some downloadable items that help you on a daily basis at the end of this talk. The sales buttons are here. The free book. What was the name of the free book again?
The Quest, Heal Your Life, Change Your Destiny.
Heal Your Life, Change Your Destiny. I think we're going to start with that concept in a minute. So that's the free book up top. So be sure to click into there. And we are now going to turn it over to you, and I'll ask, heal yourself and change your destiny. Explain that a little bit.
There's an alchemical process I discovered in my teens and began developing it more for humanity that could be applicable in a self-healing format, which is in the book. And it allows us to transform the baser aspects in our natures, the patterns, the beliefs, the programs, the things that have limited us, held us back, that keep us feeling so much less than who we are, that keep us under an amnesia in some kind of illusion that we're limiting beings when we're really these awe-inspiring, dynamic, celestial beings. We're spiritual beings here on an incredible soul adventure and a great mission we've all come in to fulfill. So the book is really my offering to humanity at this time for the awakening ones who want to quickly accelerate their path and become more and more of who they are and transform quickly who they are not and actualize that greatest potential and fulfill a higher destiny than what they could have if they just ran the programs like most of humanity has been doing forever.
So you're saying when we heal ourselves, we alter the timeline and create a different future?
Yes, that is the outcome. One of the outcomes that was an unexpected outcome I found, that, in the beginning it was self-enlightened inness to heal these things, these emotions and debilitating things that were coming up in me or handling really challenging experiences in my life. And I also am a curious soul. I wanted to find out why. Why did I draw that in? Why is this happening? And can I change it? And I found out I can change it. That by healing these things internally and changing the inner world, the outer world shifts immediately, exponentially, and this alters the future. It literally redials us to ever new, more beneficent futures. And this is how I've seen that we came in and why we did it this way, why so many of us awakening souls worldwide, which I call the violet souls, because we're totally into personal and planetary transformation, why we wanted to change the future like this. Instead of radiating and upgrading the planet, we took on all the programs and patterns and beliefs. And this gave us a sense of understanding and compassion on what humanity's gone through and why the world looks a mess, because our lives look a mess because we're dealing with it. And then we were transform it from within. What this would do is start raising the vibration of the planet, raising us into higher frequencies or dimensional realities and consciousness, change the whole vibratory rate of this holographic field we call Earth, this Earth experience, and redial higher forms of the future so that increment by increment, healing by healing, shift by shift, and we're making our way to a pretty glorious future we all came in to manifest here on Earth.
Do you think that is a personal journey, or do you think it's a global journey? Are a lot of people going to have to upgrade just because that's what we've decided?
Yeah, I've seen, in my memories of going back before this life and also my frequenting of the higher realms, and then working with countless people for all these years and from all over the world. The people that seem to find me are very advanced souls, the violets. And so I've been able to weave the history of the planet, where all these programs came from, what went wrong, where we're heading, what their missions are, who they are really in the higher realms. All these things come out in the quest, the sacred alchemy process. And you can find out so much once the aspects you transform come into their full potential. Now you have direct line, and you can remember lots of stuff and see where you're heading and what all of us are doing and how many there are of us. I would say right now, from the demographics I found last year, that our actual contact list demographics, there are 400 million of us undergoing this awakening right now across the planet, catalyzing loved ones and others into the awakening. So the awakening is catching like wildfire.
Right.
And more and more people are waking up, until now you even see on sitcoms, on TV, consciousness languaging. Consciousness languaging and a lot of these concepts are just woven in now to the normal human society that weren't happening or here or available or known when we arrived. And if you think of what it was like here before we came, we've changed this whole field so much.
Oh my God. I mean, now in quantum computing, they're talking about entangled particles. Now, Dr. Vern Wolf was on here, and we all speak the same language. He's a scientist, and you know of him and his work. And we are all part of that team that's making this public knowledge. I wrote about quantum thinking in the late 80s and handbooks about it, and people were like going, what? And now it's in everyday newspapers. You open them up and they say we're living in a hologram. They've run the mathematics on the universe, and they're saying they cannot distinguish between whether it's a simulation or a real universe. They can't tell the difference. We are going to probably realize that consciousness affects physical reality as a mass, not just as individuals. I mean, if you think about it, all religions try to teach morals and ethics, but they also try to teach us that we have a direct line, right?
Yes, I mean, that's so interesting what you just said, that they can't distinguish if it's a simulation.
Right.
I've wondered myself through doing so much of this work and seeing how easy everything's changeable, and we're all changing it, and it's a group. It's like the kids on the video games, and they're all doing it together at once, creating a reality. And a lot of trainings are visual now, and the visual effects that they're doing. This very well could be, it does even seem like a simulation.
Right.
Because we're from a different realm where there's none of these imperfections.
Okay.
None of these beliefs programs running. There's no ill health. There's nothing of a dire nature. Everything is a more constant, beneficial, blessed reality. You could say a heaven on earth, a heavenly, earth-like reality. Okay, because there's beautiful temples, there's beautiful earth. I would say, are we up in a higher realm, a part of us, and we're with our gear and we're transported down, like in the Avatar movie where the guy gets transferred into the other body, right? And then he's in that, interacting with that incredible world of beings in the same body. Very well, we can be.
Right, we're like embodying, right. We're embodying. We were embodied. The body is the vehicle. We drive around in it as soul. Go, isn't that interesting? And shift.
It's not who we are, and none of these patterns and programs who we are. And what I've found through just thousands and thousands of sessions I've done, there is no judgment or blame from the higher realms. There is no God dictating suffering for humanity. I would have found it. I've been in the psyche. I've been delving into all things of this nature since my youth and all these years, and I've never once found that we were bad, and so we're sinners now. We're paying back, and there's a God or a devil, and they're they're making us go through this. We are self-creating it all.
Right.
We did take on a lot of patterns and programs of our choice. We chose the family lineage. We chose what area of humanity we would help up level and heal. Okay, what problem? Some of us were abused as children. Other people born into alcoholism or have gone through that. There was all kinds of scenarios of choices, and each of us took our package, and I would say big packages if we're one of the souls restoring this reality. But when we get it all restored, do we go back and we find it was all a simulated game, or do we really up-level a universe? So
yeah, is it really making a difference, or is it just a game for us to gain clarity? But whatever it is, one thing is for sure, that when we start cooperating with consciousness, we live in a dreamlike universe. Things are getting better. With consciousness, you can start shifting things around. And that's what we are here to share. It's like connect with the source, your soul and God, and realize it's a dream. It truly is. I mean, that's the beauty of it all. Is God growing because of it? Is the whole universe benefiting from our little exercise of our muscles? I believe so. I believe it's not just a rehash of like, yeah, let's see how strong you are. I think it's a co-creative process. It's a God embodying to create greater potentials of new. I want to ask you, you've gone into the future. You've seen some incredible things. Can you tell us about what you see in store for evolution, for our humanity?
Yeah, it's so exciting, especially this year. This year's amping up majorly. I mean, I've had so many visitations from the future, been in the future numerous times again this year. I went in under hypnosis at 2012 in November because so many of the speakers, the healers, the prominent people in the consciousness movement were talking about a dire calamities and the world falling apart. Of course, we've heard this all since we arrived. And I did see those potentials in my teens, but I also saw that so many of us had embodied in this time and through this ascending process into our true human selves, that a new world was going to be born. So I've seen this forever. I've spoken on it. But in 2012, I wanted to go into the future. And I went in under hypnosis. And my friend, Bernadette Jean-Marie, who's one of the healers in our virtual healing temple, she actually took me under for a long time. So my conscious self, with all her opinions and what I believe was not in the mix, right? Because when you're under hypnosis,
right,
your conscious self is quiet. It's a really cool way to get into your super conscious self and cruise and commune with your, higher self, your higher sponsors and everything. And so what I saw was I was taken to the higher realms of light and escorted into the future to 3 points. 2014, and what was significant about 2014 is I saw that we had made it through 2012, number one. The earth was intact, California in place. There was no disasters, no major, throes of millions of people suffering. And instead, our love, our awakening more to our true natures en masse, there was more love in the field and more beneficent things, like a host of more beneficent things were going on. Then by 2020, a lot of what's going on right now where, we really are in a renaissance of grace, a global renaissance, everyone, you, me, all of us, we're pouring in our beautiful offerings for humanity. We have every kind of healing modality. We have every kind of cuisine, clothes, wonderful beneficent things, upgraded systems, better education, more clarity on diet. We have everything to actualize ourselves to the greatest degree and go into a really hygienic reality. So by 2012, there were so many changes. There were only factions still that were operating out of greed and avarice, but the developing natures had really come a long way.
2020.
One of the significant things was that the governments of these nations finally realized that if they keep taxing the people and making them live like these worker drones that never, that are burdened and saddled with all these issues and illnesses, the world would just keep unraveling, getting worse and worse. And that if they created programs that would allow the people to flourish, they would awaken more fully into their potential. They would actually give their gifts to the world. They bring their genius into the world, and the world would be so much better. So this was a big shift. And so people were flourishing. People were raising up out of these once constrained lives to actually give more of themselves and make an impact, a positive impact. So millions upon millions were like really invested in this earth restoration project of making things beautiful and meaningful and bringing out their specific gifts. Also, people had gotten very sick of the blaring news, and the blaring news with all the dire stuff they put on, and a lot of us are just allergic to it already, was actually one of the best gifts for humanity ever, right? It magnified it all to such a degree that it just made this exodus away from unhealthy living and violence and being like in our in the rat race, and it released so many people. And one of the areas was health. People got so sick of turning 50, and you have 7 different meds you're taking every day, and everybody's overweight, and everybody's burdened, and nobody's happy, and they've gone through 2 divorces by now, and issues with family members, and people saw that nutrition and brain chemistry balancing is extremely important. That's
Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, one of my areas of my pioneering work was in neuroscience as well as psychology and health. And I found that we have to have our brain chemistry balanced for us to be fully operational in our authentic selves.
Yes.
You cannot be in your true self, your higher self, your higher nature when the brain chemistry is off, because it just opens up the psyche and all the aspects are running, and you're miserable, you're stressed, you're anxious, and your perceptual reality is negative. You're not seeing what's really going on.
Right. So how do you tell people to help balance that, or how do you guide people into doing that?
Everyone on my programs, all my students and a lot of clients, myself, my family, I've helped put on optimal health and lifestyle programs that include everything beneficial in every area of our lives. And the brain balancing formula I've used is specific to allow the nurturing, nourishing, restoration, and healing of the brain and cleansing, that we don't have our pineals all crystallized, to where the synapses, everything's flow. And people can read also Dr. Allman's work. I found that he was parallel in his findings as I was bringing out mine, that he's gone so far as to take the scans of the brains and shows the damage from modern living, stresses, everything from marijuana to heroin. And I know a lot of people love pot, but look at the brain scans,
Thank you. What do they look like? Tell me. I want to hear it.
Caverns and brain damage.
Thank you. Can you say that louder? I'd like to hear that again.
Brain damage from alcohol. I know people will hate me because everyone's like, marijuana is a beautiful little plant that God gave us. Yeah.
Well, to make clothing out of and in medicinal use, but you don't want to eat aspirin every day, really, do you?
Yeah, CBD is really wonderful and beneficial. So it's really awesome, to know that there's beneficial derivatives of every kind of plant, and then there's some aspects that you do want to stay away from.
Yeah.
A whole society of people are checked out.
Yes.
On pot, thinking it's wonderful. And when you see the demographics of the states now that have legalized marijuana, and the school, the people going down in IQ, the people doing worse in colleges and school, the people dysfunctions, and when our brain chemistry is off, we become mentally ill. Okay,
right.
So all mental illness is curable because it's a brain disorder. It's a brain chemistry disorder. By eating the nutrients, by having a really good diet, and I love grow everything fresh and pure, and getting enough protein, and keeping yourself away from the fluorides and toxins and additives and all that. And then stress, change your lives, do the inner work so you're not living in stress. All these things will restore the brain, can restore brain damage. I mean, Dr. Arman has healed, restored the brain of people going into dementia, and NFL players who have all the damage to their brain and can't even think anymore. Wow. And you know that you can't think straight when your brain chemistry's off or you're on drugs and alcohol. So that's something
Dr. Bob Beck, I just want everybody to hear this. Dr. Bob Beck developed the brain tuner, electrical stimulation device, a CES, cranial electrical stimulation device. He was teaching the CIA people how to see remotely into safes. Now, the CIA hired him. He used one of his devices and he trained them. He could always do it. But when they ate garlic, they couldn't. It's that sensitive. When they ate garlic, there is sulfonyl-hydroxyl that passes the blood-brain barrier in the brain. They could no longer look in the safe. Now imagine why, if one sees a vampire and bite a clove of garlic, okay, then you don't see the vampire. It's a good thing. But, most of the time we want to be sharp, clear, perceptive. Like you said, do all the things that we need. And you have a program on that, right? On how to purify, how to uncrystallize the pineal gland.
Yes, I have total life transformation programs I put people on. 1 year, Sacred Alchemist, and that's where I help them master the art of sacred alchemy and keep actualizing their potential. And the Life Coach Counselor certification with the Quest. All 3 programs, everyone gets assessed. They go on their Optimum Health and Lifestyle program. Most everyone I've ever worked with needs brain balancing, so all those supplements, nutrients, and Power Pack smoothies with all the really great things we have access to today. There's just so much now. We actually have everything we need to actualize our greatest potential and move the planet into an amazing future.
Yes.
And all these things are essential. So every area of our life needs to be tended to. And we need to have in balance. And with the Quest, the Sacred Alchemy process, with these Optimum Health Lifestyle programs, and everyone can put your own selves on your own program, make sure you have a great diet and the great supplements, and you're exercising every day, you're working on issues so your relationships can flourish, you're maintaining your radiant, youthful health, you're giving yourself a happy life, so you're having fun, you're enjoying and doing your mission,
And then you'll do your mission. You will do your mission.
I mean, because we need both sides of us. We need our feminine fully expressed and our masculine fully empowered. We need balance and spaciousness so we can just commune, and then all of a sudden what comes out of that is our next creative expression. There's a balance for life and way of living that is the Sacred Alchemist path. So that's where I train people in that. I've got these incredible mastery intensives in Sedona every year and at sacred sites around the world once a year. And that's what we do. We get into our authentic selves and we just come into the next level of who we are by clearing the next pieces of who we're not.
Yes, exactly. Letting that light, that spirit indwell in the body, and then learning techniques of how to purify the body and emotions so that the light of soul and God can shine. Yes. And then do the work. And then we realize, and only then can we let go, wiggle our finger in our nose and say, I change my reality. And then it does change. And the future when this direction, we shift to a higher frequency expression, and it goes in that direction.
Yeah, we're just we keep going. I mean, I really do think already we're on a higher dimensional level than many of us are aware of, because it's been, even though it's been accelerated path we're on, it's still been kind of subtly coming up each year. And that's what I saw when I went back before this life when I was 19. And I saw that every year across the planet, we'd be raising into the next level, the next level, the next level. And we've been doing that all this time. And the levels that we're getting to are profound. I mean, I think a lot of us are realizing as we come into contact with each other, our languaging, who we are, what we're sharing is so refined, so incredible at this point.
And that's what you're saying. Now, I want to interject here. The people I come into contact with are talking your words, my words. We live almost like in this other dimensional reality. It's like, I have these people invented free energy. They just do miracle stuff. But there is a whole segment of society that is, in poverty and sickness and suffering, which is why we're here teaching techniques, and what we're hoping everybody is going to scream from the rooftop and say, listen to this, listen to all these people, and do the work. Pick someone that resonates with you, go with them on a training, and become your best potential.
And give your offerings to the world.
Yeah.
Give your sacred offerings to the world, and make sense. What I love about the quest is it makes sense of our issues and dilemmas. Like, each adversity we face is a secret waiting to be unlocked. And as we unlock it, we unlock who we are and have been, and maybe some incredible past life histories, and who we are in the higher realms in the future. And it unlocks more gifts and talents we didn't even know we had. So it's like all these coals are in our psyche, and the next one that comes up through the emotional response to something, you get to clean up and purify that coal, and now you have another jewel, you have another diamond.
Right.
And that diamond is more aspects of who you really are. And so the whole journey is not, oh my God, another issue, or oh no, it's so endless, like people say, but it's an exciting way. We developed it in this virtual 3D reality game we're doing, of how we would transform, how we keep going up to the next levels, how we would unlock the jeweled array of who we are after being just all completely shut down and lost, lost in believing we were some nothing and worthless thing, that didn't even matter, and on a strange planet.
And that's exactly why we're saying dream big. I mean, the book title that I have with the Dream Big is also called The Universe is Listening. It's this phenomenal interplay that the universe, everything is listening. We put something out and says, oh, you happen to ask. Thank you for asking. Boom, here's the answer. Mm-hmm. Amazing. So it becomes, we get rewarded instead of this, like you said, no drudgery. It's just a transformation. Yeah.
The last 2,000 years were really intense on the planet. There was just so much shame and guilt, and God's punishing us, and all of humanity, we're living under these false beliefs and realities co-created, right? So it's a really interesting time point to visit as we're doing the inner work and piecing, because we're cleaning up in this time a lot of the belief systems, a lot of those archaic ways of being and conceptions of self and God and the universe, setting humanity free. And then, of course, there's many case histories throughout this planet of just pretty interesting things that have gone on here.
I love that. We're coming here to help up-level the misunderstanding of duality. Duality is a play, like your description is so beautiful. It's a stepping stone to greater glory, rather than going, there is the bad and there's the good. It's if there are two gods, it's like the quantum foam just going on and off, on and off. That's all. It's not bad or good. It's just on or off. And then it makes something happen.
What if there is no battle? I mean, so many people are trapped in this ideology of good against evil, and they're the bad guys, and we're the puny ones having to fight the big Goliaths who have all the money, all the power. And I never found that to be true. And every single session over all these years, anybody that is doing something bad to me personally or globally is a reflection of a part of me doing, on a believing that to me. Mm-hmm. Like the Saint Martyr program, one of the most insidious ones we have running, where, the belief is to be a saint and a sage, a spiritual being. You must have adversity. You have to be burned at the stake or, put on the cross. You need these things. So then someone's got to play those roles for us, because we're in the holographic reality creating that. So those beliefs are living principles within us that make manifest our outer reality. So if everybody's sick of certain types of rulers and people with all the money and greed, go within, and
create without.
transform it. If we
Yes.
all had our authentic selves at the throne of power on our beings instead of our shadow selves running us all day long, we wouldn't have rulers
Exactly.
in their shadow selves.
Yes.
We have benevolent rulers and benevolent programs and plenty for all. If we didn't have belief systems that we, it's not good to have money, it's not good to be abundant, or that we need to be punished, we should, we need to, that's not spiritual, we need to have nothing. If we didn't have that, we'd all just be wealthy. Because we really are wealthy. Our divine our wealth personified, where that is our true reality.
Because we create.
This is our true nature.
Yeah. It reminds me of the one story in the Second World War. Poverty. No, that was the Great Depression before the World War II. Great Depression. Everybody was out and under. Everything had fallen apart. The banks were closing. Blah blah blah. And this one guy became a millionaire because he sold hot dogs. He said, "That's not for me. I'm going to choose a different reality." And I think in the times where hardship comes, we just go like, okay, how can I make lemonade? What can I learn? What does this really want to become? What is my vision? And how can I embody that by feeling it, going into it and feeling it? So can you guide us into one of those divine healing transmissions now, which we've promised? Before we do that, I want to ask, because I don't want to talk afterwards so much, you are offering...
we want to be very quiet and everybody anchor, and and we probably won't be able to talk, and want everyone to get grounded after. And I just want to let everyone know they can share it with their friends and family, that the light is eternal light flowing, and as you plug in and listen to the replays and over, it's flowing. More healing, more blessings. In fact, this whole time, so much healing's been flowing. So many people maybe already are feeling very transfigured, and it's going to amp up in a moment through the divine healing transmission and activation.
Awesome. So I do want to, we talked and I asked you to make our listeners who got this all pass access thing to an awesome offer, that they can find out about you, so that the first hurdle is acceptable and they go like, wow, I'm going to go. So for a limited time, you are offering, which if you click on that button here below, you'll get to the page that leads to the explanation of all the items you're putting on. There are 2 programs. Do you want to say a couple words about them and the amazing discount that you're offering?
Yes, everything I've brought forward, I've created from my true authentic self as a vessel of the divine. So I'm very much early on beginning all this, I seem to have the knowledge that don't create the healing music or the offerings when you're in your issues, right? Be in your highest self. So everything is coded, infused, the healing music, the books, even touch them, they're all coded with the divine codes, the divine energies, the healing frequencies, and then of course the books have so much in them for your growth and advancement. The activations are similar to what you're going to hear next. And people love waking up in the morning and playing one and starting the day fully, just the next levels transform, the next activation, the next alignment. And each time you listen, more happens. And what's so exciting is that even though we need to be really on it for our own transformation and doing the healing work, the divine right now is blessing us, activating these codes in us, these ancient divine codes, bringing us, like turning the switches and bringing us online of our full potentials. Clearings are massive taking place in these activations that are just lifting up conditions and adversities and shifting the very molecules of our existence. So every time you listen, you're in this transfiguration. So it's all there for you.
Awesome. People can check it out.
And then in package B, of course, you get time with me, and you get a golden ticket, and you get to experience a mass live beautiful, virtual, exciting transfiguration.
Awesome.
So very, very excited about that.
So when they click on it, they will be sending contact to you, and we will set that all up. We'll describe it.
Time and everything will be, all the information and how to prepare and everything you need. And then I'd love to hear what happens for everyone. Some people have taken these packages and used them as a self-actualization program they put themselves on. So they think for 33 days, I'm going to listen to an activation, and then I'll have the healing music playing, and then as issues arise, I'll be doing the quest, and then, I'll be reading in the book, and by the end of 33 days, oh my gosh, a lot of people decide I'm going to keep going with this.
Right. And
just this last month, I decided to do a 33-day challenge with the quest that I would just do it'll work every single day. So mostly I just cruise, and when the next piece is up, I'm healing it. And I can do it in minutes, and you can learn to do it really short time. But this time I decided, well, I'll just even look for things. So this has been, I can't begin to tell you how transfigured I feel. I'm like 3 weeks in to doing it every day.
Wow.
I cannot believe my life and consciousness and world. It's like I've gone through a mega change. So that's what all these products do. That's why I'm so excited to put in a package that hasn't been available anywhere else, this package. And I hope you'll all just be royally blessed by it. And I want to hear everybody's experience.
Yes. So let's go. I thank you, because I didn't want to do the explanation of all this after your divine blessing ceremony. So I'm all ready. So we can all, unless you're driving while you're listening to this, please do not close your eyes. But however, if you are, then please
hold on and stay focused.
Yeah.
Just hold on for the ride. A lot happens too in these on very subtle levels, because when we're talking about DNA upgrades and the cleansing of our brain chemistry and the pineal clearing and blocks being removed from our third eye and our chakras and inner aspects in the subconscious getting transformed, which is all going to happen now and happens every activation, that a lot of times our conscious minds might not be aware of it in the moment, right? And then, because it's subtle levels. And so some people feel it, oh my gosh, they're beaming with light. Other people feel a little sad, oh, I'm not feeling anything. Well, don't worry. It's all happening. So just relax. Don't have an agenda around it. Just be in the presence of the divine ones that are coming in right now to speak to humanity in this moment of time to bring their great blessing. And I will start with the prayer and to formally invite them, but they've been here working with us. And I feel very transformed just by their presence alone, and also coming together with you, along with sacred sister I haven't seen forever, since Hawaii, and just the catalyst of,
yes.
our co-created energy.
Yes. Mm.
All right, everybody. Are you ready, Alona?
I am. All settled.
Okay. Let's center in our hearts, letting that radiant presence of love expand out from our center, and then find ourselves anchoring even more deeply, connecting in that sacral area of our true authentic selves that activates the spirit within to now fully unfurl glorious presence, light-filled presence, white light energy that now permeates our whole field, transforms, blesses, uplifts, and raises us into this next degree of our authentic selves, purifies, rectifies, makes right, charges all atom cells and electrons, and shifts our whole reality to more beneficent and the future of this beautiful universe into that glorious divine age of enlightenment, freedom, and peace. Beloved ones, Father, Mother, Divine Universal Presence, our inner divine selves and heavenly sponsors, We give grateful thanks for the bountiful blessings, healing, and advancement on our paths, and the clearing of the way of all human matrices, all struggles, suffering, and disease, and cleansing us at the causal levels, healing all the inner aspects, holding beliefs, programs, patterns in place, so that a mighty transfiguration may occur for us, our loved ones, family members, and for all humanity. We thank you for this light release, the blessing of this planetary home, all sentient beings, and all life waves throughout this universe of worlds. We thank you for a golden age of light, of peace, serenity, ease for us all. And we are grateful, and we accept it done in accordance with divine will and for the highest good of all concerned. Oh, beloved ones, we come from realms of light to stand with you today, to activate the divine principle within and recode the DNA to restructure it under the alliance with its core divinity, the truth of who you are. We seal you, each one, in the light of your divine presence, shielded now with the blue ray of protection, and bringing in that golden light of peace to illumine and awaken you back to your true reality, to remember from whence you have come, to remember who you are and why you are here, so that you may take part in this great advancement and be aligned with this allegiance of light that is now transforming all these planetary homes in a system of worlds. For we, the Elohim of peace, come. We bring forth the spirit of aloha to all nations and peoples. We bring our blessings to elemental life and to all those of the airs, the waters, the seas, the lands, that all life be blessed and restored to the divine perfection, which is the highest intention at this time. You have come in mass to do a mighty work, O beloved. Know how many you are, and that in your numbers you shall succeed in this great movement and momentum of life that is bringing in so much illumination and so many offerings to this world. You who came from realms of light for this specific purpose are now awakening to that eternal truth that you are divine, and that all the throes and adversities and challenges you have undergone have been part of the great divine plan. For you knew, beloved, that you must tend to a segment of the unconsciousness of this world that you had designed and written as precepts in your book of life to come and take on what you have. And so none of it is a mistake at all, nor is it a punishment from a deity that has found you wanting, nor is there any reason for guilt or shame, for all his wondrous blessing and perfect unfoldment under this great divine plan. For in undergoing the throes of the adversities of this humanity, you have born within yourself a great compassion and been birthing yourself as a bodhisattva of light, come to heal a planet and a people, come to spread the light through this universe of worlds, to change and upgrade the systems and to resolve the issues so the divine plan can be manifest in its great glory in and through you. all the great good that has taken place, beloved, we watch and witness in awe from our realms. For yes, did we plan this out, all of us together? And yes, are we participants with you as you invoke our presence into this world? And yet, things have transformed exponentially beyond our wildest dreams, because you have risen up with a white fire in your souls and given your all and tended to the inner world and transformed your lives and aligned with a higher destiny path and potential. And you have cared and brought that caring heart to this humanity, this love, this great love that you bear as vast divine beings who have come to earth for this holy purpose. So have you given so much, and so has the future changed exponentially, and the timelines are altering even now in this moment, because you have gathered to hear this and to receive our blessing from the Elohim of light, and from great cosmic beings and the great archangels and ascended ones and angelic hosts. As we come today, infusing you, this planet, this solar system and beyond, with the light of the Logos, the divine Logos, and sparking that light which is within all, magnifying that light so that this universe of worlds is transfigured and the light matrices are coming online now and are now illuminating the worlds. The matter planes are filled with blessed souls right now, undergoing this massive upgrade of planets, of systems, and of humanities. Know you are part of a great and vast divine plan. Know that you are essential and that you matter. And know that we hold you in divine arms with great love, compassion, and that we are here serving with you and assisting you at every turn to be the full potential selves that must be birthed in this world now, to bring in this golden age of light, a freedom era of great magnificence, a world of great splendor where peace, harmony, and love prevail, and the great victory has been won. You are but steps away from an illumined future. Even now, your future selves connect with you in this moment to give you a special message for you alone. Commune with that self. Align with their vision. Acclimate yourself to the future they are dwelling in, and know you are on a vast accelerated path to this illumined future, and that all that you are doing and have done has allowed this great, glorious, victorious time to be a manifest reality. Now we bring in the rose light of love from the heart of Mother Mary. And many Buddhas have formed now in physical reality, anchoring their presence with us here. As we, to the Elohim, stand in the earth, anchoring the light and magnifying the light in the world. So many rivers of darkness have been cleansed because you came together under the great auspices of this wondrous summit. And through your hearts, minds, and souls aligned, a great victorious increment of light release is going forward and shall be a sustaining river of light, so that everybody that comes in contact with this shall receive the abundance and the full array of divine gifts, clearings, activations, and alignment with their divine selves. Know you are forever blessed on this mission. Know you shall succeed, and that the way is easy before you. With the mastery tools we have given through our temple and this global healing mission, we have given you everything you need to accelerate and advance at record speed and bring forth your beautiful offerings to this world. Blessing to you, beloved. Blessing, all precious ones, so dear to our heart. Blessings of infinite joy and peace.